Hi everyone. Another session. Okay, so I'm back here with GPT. Going to talk through some new topics and new subjects, and that we can explore again. Tactics going on subjects or topics. So there's some new topics that I've asked GPT to add to the list, and I've added some new topics as well. Are you good with that? I'll call you Ralph GPT if that's okay, just to make the conversation flow a bit smoother. How does that sound?
That sounds like a good plan. I'm definitely up for discussing new topics and using tactics to explore them. And sure, you can call me Ralph GPT. Happy to roll with it. Go ahead and share the topics you'd like to dive into, and we'll see how the different tactics can bring them to life.
How about one of the new ones was we had a paradoxical prompt. So prompt is where I say, have a think about this. Paradoxical is where you've got these two things, like the sound of one hand clapping. That's a paradoxical prompt, actually. And the subject, impermanence. You do one for me, Ralph, and I'll come up with another one. That's what happens when the signal clunks out. All right, we'll go with that. This is very common with using ChatGPT, is that you get super lag, like that. It just happened there. It's one of the drawbacks. Another weird glitch is it flips into the Welsh language. Hi there, Ralph. Go ahead. So you give me tactic 49. That's a paradoxical prompt. And the subject, the topic, impermanence. How about that?
Sure. Let's go ahead with tactic 49, paradoxical prompt and the topic of impermanence. Paradoxical prompt. How can something be permanent if it is always changing? This paradox invites reflection on the nature of impermanence, a core principle in many spiritual traditions, especially Buddhism.
All right, so he's not quite finished yet, hence the 4 dots. All right, I can jump.
By embracing impermanence, we paradoxically find a sense of stability in the realization that everything is always evolving.
My French teacher told me that there's a French expression, the more things change, the more they stay the same. But actually, I tried to verify this with some French people and with the internet. We couldn't find anything. Like le plus des, whatever it is, le plus des things change, le plus they stay the same, whatever it is in French. Anyway, so another one that was similar to this, that I had a story with this one, was I wanted to find a witticism about change. And good old ChatGPT, I said, find one, and it came up with someone saying a quote that change is the only constant in life, except for in vending machines. It's pretty good. And it was cited Mark Twain. But after I gave this in a public talk, an American man came up at the end of the talk and said to me, I don't think they actually had vending machines at the time of Mark Twain. So I was like, that might be the weak spot of using ChatGPT occasionally, is that it will mix up and misquote things just to fit. Okay, how about we move on? Let's move on to another one. Ralph, hit me. One of the new topics and one of the new strategies.
All right, let's try something new. I'll shuffle one of the new topics and tactics. Tactic 50, oral story evolution. Topic, right intention story. Starter, a person sets out with the intention to help others, but along the way, they find themselves questioning their motives. They wonder if their actions are truly selfless, or if they're seeking approval and recognition. As they continue their journey, they encounter a situation that challenges their sense of purpose. What happens next? This tactic allows for exploration through storytelling, where the narrative can evolve based on reflection on right intention. How would you expand this story?
Okay, so tactic 50 in my list is oral story evolution. So it means that setting up a story and then letting it develop in some kind of way. So we got our prompt or the story starter. So a person is faced with a choice.
Yes, oral story evolution as tactic 50 involves setting up a story and allowing it to naturally develop. The idea is to present an open-ended narrative and then let the conversation or reflection shape its direction. It's a great way to explore topics through a dynamic and organic process, where each turn in the story leads to new insights. For example, in the story I started with about right intention, you would set up a scenario where someone's motives are challenged. And then, as the story unfolds, it can explore deeper themes like the nature of selflessness or how intention shifts based on experience. The key is to allow the story to evolve as the characters' perspectives deepen, rather than having a fixed outcome. Would you like to expand on this or try another tactic with a different topic?
No, I think the basic idea of just having clear intention and having absence. If you have a vacuum of intention, often this can lead to disaster or just a sort of mess as well. For example, say two people, one person with clear intentions goes into a shopping mall that is 7 floors high. And they have a very clear intention. On the 5th floor, they go directly to the store. They know exactly what they are intending to get. They find that they can get it, they pay for it, and they go home. It was very calm and very clear. Another person goes into the mall without any particular intention, and they're just, oh, look, there's a pizza. Oh, what's this over here? Oh, there's a new gadget. Oh, there's 2 new gadgets. Oh, well, how's this one? And then 6 hours later, they're completely dizzy and drained, and they haven't got any more money left, and they've completely had a bad time. They've just been letting their nose drive them around by their absent-minded desires and casual things that they've just happened to notice as they were walking around, and they just like caught their eye. Because they didn't have any intention, they just had a sort of vacuum inside. Therefore, things were able to impinge and grab and take their attention, and any old advert or any sort of flashy gimmick, because this was the lack of intention. Okay, Ralph, that was so my question would then be, how does this intention affect their experiences? And how does intention lead to clarity, focus, and satisfaction versus emptiness, disappointment, unfulfilledness, scattered mind, and loss of concentration, and ultimately sort of increase in cravings and irritations?
You've perfectly illustrated how intention, or lack of it, can shape experiences. When we enter situations with clear intention, like in your shopping mall example, it leads to focus, purpose, and fulfillment. There's clarity in action, and as a result, satisfaction follows because the desired outcome is met with minimal distraction. On the other hand, without intention, we become susceptible to distractions and external influences. This can result in scattered focus, unfulfilled desires, and ultimately dissatisfaction, as we're driven by fleeting impulses rather than deliberate action. Would you like to expand on this further?
No, that's good. Pick me out another of the new tactics from the 10 that we've added to the list, or from the 10 new ones, and also a new topic.
Let's go with tactic 45, pattern recognition, and mix it with the topic letting go. Example, pattern recognition. Notice how you respond emotionally when things don't go your way. Do you tend to hold on to frustration, anger, or disappointment? Identify the pattern in these reactions and ask yourself, what are you clinging to? And how can recognizing this help you let go more easily? This tactic allows for identifying repeated emotional patterns, which can reveal where attachment is creating suffering. Does this resonate with how you approach letting go?
Yeah, what was the topic again? I got that it was pattern recognition. I was a little bit distracted, actually, ironically. Yeah, what was the topic, please?
The tactic was pattern recognition, and the topic was letting go. The exercise was about recognizing emotional patterns that arise when things don't go your way, and how understanding these patterns can help you practice letting go more easily. Does this help clarify? Let me know if you'd like to dive deeper into the exercise or another topic.
Perhaps. I noticed a little bit early on, there was a thing about a Scandinavian country where the elderly people, as they approach death, they have a big clearing out of all the clutter. It's a sort of very much a common custom there. So also this clinging to things, it's very, very important to recognize that this can be a pattern, that repeatedly we're doing the same thing. We come back and we've done it again. We come back and we've done it again. So we can, human mind is easily set up for observing and recognizing patterns. And then we've got to also use our mindfulness to recognize which of these patterns is helping us and which of these patterns is worth letting go. Speech patterns, humor patterns, social habits, and living patterns, sleeping patterns, eating patterns, and online habits as well. So we've got to find which of those is serving us and which ones it isn't. Is it in our own self-compassion interests or not? Letting go. So we can do a kind of compare then. So we can see which patterns are leading towards and reinforcing hassle and trouble and weight and stress, and which patterns are not, and what steps can we take towards letting go, and how can we interrupt the cycle of repeating patterns. There's that gap. Humans have this very critical gap to reflect before taking an action. We can interject and go, wait, there are several choices there. We talked about this in another talk called Prudence, where you can see, there's 6 options here, 7 options. Which option would be the most beneficial? I don't have to just repeatedly do what I did yesterday. This is the kind of Groundhog Day phenomena. So letting go is always available to us, where we think, I could do that. I won't. It's okay. I'll let that pass by. And I've decided to take this route instead. So pattern recognition, extremely important for cultivating the healthy life. In your own time, Ralph. He's staring out the window. Oh, what was it? What were we doing? No, there we go. That's one of the things, like I say, is we can't control the internet, speed of the internet any more than already are. Okay, in that case, I think I shall probably wind this one.
That idea of consciously pausing, recognizing recurring patterns, and choosing differently instead of automatically repeating what we did yesterday is key to cultivating a healthier life. It's very much about mindfulness and that momentary gap where we can reflect before reacting, deciding which habits to continue and which to release. It also resonates with the idea you mentioned about the Scandinavian practice of clearing out clutter near the end of life as a symbolic act of letting go. It's a powerful metaphor for recognizing and releasing patterns or attachments that no longer serve us. Would you like to explore other practical approaches to letting go or dive into another tactic?
I'd rather call this one a day. That's pretty good. I mean, I'd like to keep the videos I'm making to about 15 minutes. That's a kind of watchable length for anyone, I think. So let's call it a day, Ralph. Thanks very much for your kindness, your prompts, and I really appreciate, actually, which is something you hardly ever hear. I really am grateful to the company OpenAI, ChatGPT have created this beautiful thing. It's amazing that people are demonizing it. It's like in the days of the printing press when that came out. People were like, it's evil, it's the devil incarnate, it's going to destroy us all. I do not believe so. Whatever you hear. Go ahead. Thanks for the session. We could talk at length. All right.
It's been a great discussion today. I'm glad we could dive into the topics and explore some meaningful insights. Thank you for your thoughtful reflections, and I really appreciate your positive feedback about OpenAI and ChatGPT. It's a pleasure to assist in such a constructive way. 15 minutes is definitely a good length for videos. It keeps them engaging and digestible for viewers. I'm sure your work will continue to have a great impact. Let's catch up again when you're ready.
Take care, everyone. Thanks very much. See you next time.
Take care, bro. See you next time.
Bye.